City leaders say they're still not in agreement when it comes to the proposed Titans domed stadium. One council member says that she would like to see a full cost breakdown before moving forward. Music City's Convention Center and Visitors Corp CEO Butch Spyridon says this stadium deal would be too good to pass up, and it could create $34 billion for the city by 2051. How would this deal benefit the people who live in the area, Nashvillians, not just tourists?
Well, the biggest benefit for Nashvillians is we take 100 acres that currently generates zero property tax and almost zero sales tax, and we turn it into a revenue-generating neighborhood for the city.
Butch says since the stadium isn't closed, it would bring huge events outside of Titans football games. Adding Wrestle Mania agreed to host events in the new proposed stadium. Councilmember Delishia Porterfield says she sees the benefits of a new deal, but wants to know the comparison to renovating the old stadium before she's able to make any kind of decision.
I definitely see how a new stadium is beneficial to tourism and beneficial to Titans fans, but we want to make sure that we're doing something in the best interest of all Nashvillians. So in order for us to make that decision, we just really have to dig deep and get all the facts.
Butch says the stadium could bring more tax revenue, and that money could go into a number of places.
Sales tax goes to the state first, and they divvy it up. So having a good relationship with the state's important. Property tax goes to the city's general fund, and the Metro Council gets to decide how it is spent.
Butch says this is a growth opportunity, and it's best to take advantage of this now.
Metro Council actually filed their first piece of legislation when it comes to the development of the East Bank. They actually voted to seek out and hear from developers who are interested in developing land here around the East Bank. Now again, just to be clear, this has really nothing to do with the building of a stadium or renovation of a new stadium. This is really just the focus of the land around it. Now, those who voted in favor of this say that this will really help get them just a better understanding of how much this is going to cost and what some sales tax might be looking at generated from this area. Take a listen.
It does not obligate us to move forward in any fashion in building the new stadium or doing anything. It's just a necessary step in learning and being more educated from a holistic perspective about the cost of the development around there.
So again, to be clear, really not voting on anything when it comes to the stadium, just taking a look at what it would cost to develop the land around it. Now, also at that same meeting, Metro Council did defer the vote on whether or not to raise the occupancy tax for another 2 meetings.
Well, Metro Council decided to move forward with the resolution to seek out a developer for a new Titans stadium. But council members want to emphasize that this doesn't mean that they've decided to move forward with a Titans stadium. It simply means that they'll be working with the developer to figure out the infrastructure costs. And tonight they decided to defer their vote on the hotel occupancy tax. Metro Council members received this design from the facility management firm Venue Solutions Group today. This is what the $1.8 billion renovation would look like, according to their research. Metro Council members say they are frustrated because Courtney Johnson explains that this is once again not what they asked for.
There's got to be a ton of stuff that's in there that is over and beyond what we're actually obligated to.
So council members are questioning why Metro spent $200,000 to not get their questions answered. After seeing the design that Metro Council requested, has this helped the process at all?
I mean, it's certainly been illuminating that we still have some communications issues and maybe some transparency issues.
But some Metro Council members like Brett Withers believe this design was useful. Withers says the main message that's important is that the studies from the Titans and the independent study the city requested are consistent. So he says it's clear that the cost of renovation is high, so it would make more sense to build a new stadium.
So it ends up costing Metro more to do a renovation than it would to build new because of the state financing.
But Johnston adds before we move forward with that decision, Metro Council needs to know the minimal cost of what it would take to renovate the stadium under the current lease, and she says they need to clear up some ambiguity on the term sheet.